Long be unbroken.
I Kill Giants begins by introducing Barbara Thorson, a troubled child who lives in a house by the beach with her older sister and brother. Barbara carries around a red wagon that is filled with giant bait and carries a small pink bag that contains her giant killer, or Kovaleski. Barbara has taken the job as giant slayer.
Time to work.
To protect her town from the giants that dare come to her town. She meets a new girl, Sophia, who has just moved from London, but seems to not mind her because she's too busy with her job.
Are you playing a game?
I don't think so.
At school, Barbara deals with a bully, Taylor, causing her to meet the school's psychologist, Miss Mole.
You're not being tested or anything. We're just talking.
For the record, I'm not being difficult because I think your profession is BS. I'm just busy, so I don't have time to be delicate with your feelings.
During one of the confrontations with Taylor, Barbara gets beaten up and Sophia takes her home. Barbara is furious at the idea of being in her room because of the dark shadow that lives in the room across from her. Sophia happens to find the basement and finds a recording of Barbara's mother as she talks about Kovaleski, giant killer, from the Philadelphia Phillies. Sophia and Miss Mole try to confront Barbara that she's imagining the giants and that she has to face reality.
You're scaring us, Barbara.
I'm scaring you? When bloody parts of people fall out of the sky and all you can see is red, then you'll be scared. And it'll be your fault because you betrayed me.
Barbara is the first character that the audience sees. The accessory that the audience automatically notices, something that separates Barbara from everyone else, are her bunny ears. Her bunny ears represent her spirit animal. Barbara's bunny ears are semi-worn out. That means that she's been wearing these for a while. Throughout the film, there are multiple close-up shots of the props being used, whether it's a shot of the Dungeons & Dragons game board or a close-up of Barbara's giant bait. This film seems to capture the extent and detail to what Barbara goes through to perfect her life as a giant slayer. The audience gets a glimpse of Barbara's hideouts, the one at the beach and the one in her basement. Her hideout at the beach, which was converted from an upside-down abandoned boat, contains all sorts of fish nets hanging from the ceiling to shells and rocks, candles, and multiple books and artifacts about giants, along with the ingredients used to make giant bait. The hideout in her basement, which is basically a fort made with blankets, holds more personal artifacts, such as a baseball glove with a used ball, multiple shapes of seashells, a suitcase that is filled with paper articles, pictures, and a signed baseball by Harry Kovaleski, a Phillies pitcher, along with a tape recorder. This further pushes the audience to understand both worlds that Barbara is dealing with, one of giants and one of her personal inner battles.
How am I supposed to do this by myself? You two won't grow up and help me.
Madison Wolfe is the main actress and protagonist of this film. She manages to steal the show with her interpretation of Barbara Thorson. Wolfe was only 14 years old when she played the role and managed to invert her teenage innocence and imagination into the film. She made the audience believe that she really saw the giants and that she was actually fighting them. Her passion for the character showed when at the end of the film, Barbara meets reality and has a breakdown. Wolfe's performance brought Barbara Thorson to life and gave her the feelings and expressions of a true troubling 14-year-old girl.
Go home, please. Let me work.
Your work isn't real. Let's just get in the car. Let me take you home.
You're not listening to me. Another giant is coming. If I don't fix Kovaleski, I can't kill it.
Another great actress in this film is Zoe Saldana, who portrays the character of Mrs. Mole, the school psychologist. Saldana plays a minor character, but manages to play her with the passion that shows that she truly does care for Barbara. She manages to show the psychologist's emotion as she tries to help and understand a troubled Barbara, who is dealing with finding herself and handling the problems around her. The main theme of this film is that sometimes we as humans tend to turn to fantasy and fiction when facing a traumatic or emotional time. In this film, we follow Barbara Thorson as she deals with personal family problems and faces her own battles against giants to protect herself and her family. Throughout the film, we see Barbara fight with her sister as she runs out of the house to prepare her fight against a giant that is coming. In another scene, we hear Barbara's name being called from the upstairs bedroom. When Barbara turns to look, a dark shadow seems to be making its way to Barbara before she runs and closes the door on it. After watching the movie, the audience understands what the significance of the shadow means to the film and to Barbara. The director of this film is Anders Walter, a Danish award-winning filmmaker. In 2012, his film, 9 Meter, was shortlisted for Best Live-Action Short Film at the Academy Awards. And in 2014, his film, Helium, won Best Live-Action Short Film in the Academy Awards. I would give this film an A because I believe that it manages to capture the audience's attention. For those who haven't read the comic, it keeps them on their feet wondering whether giants are real or not. Anders Walter brings Barbara Thorson to life and gives her a great story to tell that Madison Wolfe plays superbly. This film makes the audience laugh, cry, remember their childhood, and touches their hearts with sentimental lines and scenes.
Are you afraid? There's nothing to be afraid of.
Overall, this film connected to me on a personal level, which makes the story and the film a great masterpiece for those going through troubling times.